major discrepancies in the SEO tools we as marketers use every single day. We have partners, clients, colleagues, and various networks that are up inside of Ahrefs, Semrush, Google Search Console, Google Keyword Planner, Google Trends, looking at keyword variations against seasonality, upticks in keyword volume, searches, the competitiveness of a keyword, how many backlinks do you have compared to your competition. And yes, these things are all great, but what does it all boil down to? Search volume. What is the potential for my marketing for a given keyword? That is the most important factor here. That's going to help tell you where you need to invest your money, given competitiveness, and then how do I create content around that to rank more highly and generate the clicks. So what I'm going to do here today is I'm going to jump into Ahrefs, Semrush, Google Analytics, Google Search Console, Google Trends. I'm going to look at everything across the board so you can make better decisions as your own marketer. We have partners, colleagues, networks that are inside of these platforms every single day. And I've noticed in my own data and own tracing this week that it's just so variable. When you have a client or a partner that is checking Ahrefs every single day and they just want to see up and to the right, that's not always the best. Is your site crashing and burning when it crashes down? Sometimes search volume is eradicated. There's times when I've seen sites go from 300K a month to 190K estimated search traffic every single month because Ahrefs just reformatted their database, but it's still up and to the right. That's crazy. That's scary. As someone that works as an agency, it's not great to see. So let's jump in and let's really unpack what could be going on here. Okay, so let's look at where does Ahrefs say they get their data from. We have our own search crawlers that work 24/7. As such, we use data from our independent database and are not affiliated with other search engines or similar services, i.e. Google. My focus of this video is not the backlinks data on any of these platforms. I really want to focus on keywords, but I do like the backlink data that we report. It seems fairly up to date, as updated as it can be given crawl bandwidth. So keyword data, we have lots of historical click stream data, which is still blended into our data to a certain degree. We also use GKP data, Google Keyword Planner, Google Search Console data, and some other sources that we mix together to populate our keyword database and refine our monthly search volume numbers. Not too insightful, so let's see how Ahrefs puffs their chest with their data. We're powered by seriously big data. They have this giant data center in Singapore. We're the most active web crawler in the SEO industry, up there with the big dogs, top 10. What does this all mean? Is it accurate? Keyword index, 216 locations, crawling the web, seeing, like, how do they know how much something gets searched? So here we go, organic search traffic index. Our database of search queries and the amount of search traffic they send to top ranking pages. So the suspicion is, at least that this explanation provides, is when you connect your search console to Ahrefs, that's instant validation for them. Both of these platforms and our own analysis as an agency, we use Google Search Console as our guiding light. It should be the hard data. Even Google Keyword Planner is still an estimate based on phrase match, broad match, and other collective items bringing together keywords. But Google Search Console should be the guiding light, and I suspect that is here how they collect that data. Okay, but then going forward to a search volume blog, if you want it, it'll be accessible here. I, of course, love that they provide the traffic potential, because even though something's going to search for 52,000 times, does that mean you can get that much traffic? No way. There's too many other things. Images, people are looking for videos. There's just not as many clicks. And there's Google Ads. A lot of clicks going to Google Ads as well. So I'll provide all these resources as well. And let's jump into Semrush. Of course, Semrush will define how they show keyword volume and searches. They'll define the accuracy of it. You can even it'll gauge how accurate something is, which we'll look at in a second. How does Google Analytics work? Why are there discrepancies? Good to know. Coming over to how they define search volume. The volume in the main Semrush database represents the number of searches using national level. You can define United States. I like in Semrush so you can show that versus globally. Ahrefs, you can define countries, but you don't really get that global one. And then Semrush defines their calculation method. To calculate volumes with the highest accuracy, we use machine learning algorithms and petabytes of accumulated data from search engines. The latter gives us a huge advantage in terms of ability to train the algorithms we've created. Cool. Sounds pretty sophisticated. Semrush takes sets of data from third-party providers and overlays it with historical clickstream data acquired from reliable sources. What sources? We're not going to tell you. Okay. And yeah, more buzzy. But the volume update of 2022 from Semrush, I'm sure maybe there's even something similar. I'm sure if you're an SEO or at least privy to the trends of it, Ahrefs got huge updates earlier this year and last year. Numbers dropped, climbed, went up and down, left and right. It was just crazy to witness. Some sites just be estimated to be skyrocketing and traffic is just at the end of the day the same. So this data is super important. And what Semrush does is they tote the ultimate here, that we are the most accurate against Google Search Console in this study performed way back when. Who knows if this still holds true, but they're analyzing it against Google Search Console. So what does this tell us? The big dogs, the big tools of this industry are gauging their own accuracy against Google Search Console. So let's use Google Search Console as our guiding light. All right, so for this exercise, I'm going to pull a few keywords and compare them against all the tools, just so we can really visualize how things look. I'm going to use our own site, no other partner sites, just everything on the table for us. Don't mind at all. So we wrote this article about cybersecurity SEO many moons ago, and it just started to kind of take off. And when I check trends, which we'll get into trends at the tail end of this video, whoa, it's juicy. You can see in the last 3 months, we started to garner some impressions here. I think over the last month, it'll be around maybe 150. So I'm going to look at a keyword here, cybersecurity SEO, which we wrote an article for a very long time ago and just kind of ranked well as a trend for this keyword started to pick up. I'm not sure what triggered it, but we had something there and the article's not great. Now I'm like, oh, I'm going to go and refresh that because it's an amazing opportunity and this is important. If a site is not secure or has malware or has some issues, why would Google index it highly? Sure, things squeak through and we've all landed on sketchy sites that are ranking #1, but it's just good to see that people are concerned with this. So let's look. So in the last month, we've received this many 423 impressions from this keyword of an old article. What does Ahrefs say about the prevalence of this keyword? They're saying a search volume of 200, so about half. It is a fairly newer keyword. At one point, they just have a little old data for it, but nothing crazy. Maybe collectively these would add up to 400, but that is Search Console saying that is the defined keyword. So that's important here to look at. Now, what does Semrush say? Global volume of 70, total volume here, USA of 10. Maybe a little bit behind the ball. So when they puff that most accurate, it looks like Ahrefs, at least in this instance, has them beat. So not all SEOs even dabble in paid. As a full stack marketing agency, we have our kind of fingers in everything. But if you have access to Google Ads and the keyword planner, you can get what should be the most accurate when it comes to this kind of data straight from the source. Of course, they will, as I understand it, in their data calculations, pull together kind of phrase match and other variabilities. So if you're working with a strictly organic agency, maybe they don't have access to Google Ads, you can get an account for free and at least get in there and use this tool to see what Google says something is getting searched for average. So you don't only have to use the impressions from Search Console, because if you're not ranking, you're not going to see the impressions. And Google in this instance is saying, Google Keyword Planner, that this is a relatively new keyword, just started kind of blasting off, and that there may potentially be 480 average monthly searches, which is closest we've come to this number. And then why is this important? Because if you're an agency working with clients, or you're a client with in-house and you want to know what is the market opportunity, these platforms, these SEO tools we use every single day aren't giving us that real world data. And this could be a very heavy hitting keyword. This could be something that could potentially drive millions of dollars of revenue for you in a short time frame. Do I want to target this? Oh, it doesn't make sense. It's too competitive. It's too hard. It has too much seasonality. It's like, well, does it? Because this is just starting to take off, and I suspect it'll stick around. I'll do a recap video in the future to see if these strategies hold true. But across 4 platforms, Keyword Planner was most accurate in this instance. Semrush isn't on the map, and maybe it's just too new of a keyword. I get that. And Ahrefs seems to be up with the times. So let's look at another keyword. No sense in only doing one. All right, so looking at another keyword, a little less impressions that we're at least garnering every month from this one. Another old article that just started to kind of do well for us. And it is cool to see. As a marketing agency, this is viable kind of content for us. So about 119 impressions over the last 28 days, let's say 100. Let's jump into Ahrefs. Search volume around 10. Are these just not big enough keywords? I don't know. But collectively, when you get these kind of keywords and they compound and build, it's how multi-million-dollar businesses are built off long-tail keywords. Anyways, going into a Semrush, just absolutely no data. I'm curious, do these platforms even have the real? Maybe they just need higher volume, and that's okay. So 40,000 a month. Before I get ahead of myself, let's show what Keyword Planner says. Can you see who viewed your BeReal? About 30 a month. So that's not even accurate. So what Google Search Console is telling us, nobody got it. Everybody struck out. Ahrefs said 10. Semrush said 0 on the previous search. So I just went into trends to see. It is not a trending topic. It should be enough. This seems like enough data. Maybe it's just too low volume. What do I know? Trends is of course so buggy, and half the time it won't work. And I have beef with trends that we'll go into at the end of this call. But it seems like a hot search to know. Fun social media platform that the kids seem to enjoy. So let's look at what these tools are saying just for the BeReal platform. So Ahrefs is, of course, I don't have Google Search Console on this. I don't rank for BeReal. Of course, the app is going to themselves. I'm seeing 59,000 potential search volume from Ahrefs, seeing 40,500 from Semrush, and then Google is saying 74,000. So this is still a huge margin of error. Damn near half the number that Google Ads is saying is in Semrush, and close behind is Ahrefs. But Keyword Planner could be lumping together phrase match, broad match, and other things to bump this up, because let's be honest, they want you to bid on these things. It is their business to literally get you to bid on these keywords, not BeReal. Someone looks for BeReal, but you get the point. So let's look at one more here. Does embedding YouTube videos help SEO? About 150 impressions a month. Ahrefs is picking that up. It's like got 40. SEMrush is not too accurate there, and they're seeing about 10 here in Keyword Planner. So what does this all mean? Who's got the right data? How do I make the right decisions as a marketer? I'm going to break it down for you. You're going to use everything if the budget permits it. Not everybody can afford Ahrefs and SEMrush at the same time. It's so expensive. I think you really just need to pick one. You need to be gauging backlinks. Sometimes you uncover some backlinks you didn't know that you can cross shut out, run with, press, and things like that. But for search volume, we need to take these tools data with a grain of salt. You need to rely on Search Console to be your guiding light. You need to use Keyword Planner to pick up on trends and to see things right from the source that wants your money. So be conscious of that. And don't fret if you see dramatic drop-offs, increased climbs in search volumes. These tools aren't 100% accurate, nor do they claim to be. I think metrics are even 30 to 60% accurate for some things. Higher volume, and when people have connected their search consoles to these tools, of course it's going to be higher. And don't put all your eggs in one basket. Lean on the experts. Use their advice to make the best decision. Okay, quick beef with Google Trends. I found this article, and it's quite old, but it was really insightful for me because I was picking a piece Google Trends to tie into this video, and of course it's just not working. It's just not firing things. This had a shot up here, and earlier when I checked there were blips in other days, like just not what you want to see. So I found this really cool report of someone looking at SEMrush trend against Ahrefs trend in searches. Funny that this is the comparison too. And you can see here that Ahrefs years ago shot way up. It caught way up to SEMrush. But when you look at trends in search volume using their tools in it to calculate them, look how far behind Ahrefs is. It's not even a comparison, but is it because it's more trendy at that time? 100 is Ahrefs maximum it's ever been in the terms of trendy, that Ahrefs was most trendy at that current time and not more trendy than SEMrush, but proportionally more trendy. That's just not right. We want to see this on a scale of 100 being the total potential clicks. Why would they give it to us like that? So this person added in Moz there, like, oh my God, like Moz is the tool to use. Why would we go to Moz? But nope, you can see it's just a fraction search volume. What the heck? Take Google Trends with the biggest grain of salt here. I don't even know how to unpack things. I wouldn't use it as a technicality even. I would use it as a very small fractional thing in discovery, maybe quarterly, to look at things, to pick up on things for fun content. But do not use it in this analytic capacity when you're going against Search Console and Ahrefs. Like, it just doesn't, it's the wrong thing for that. It is a trend and it is useful, but it is not a holy grail of data here. But neither is Ahrefs and neither is SEMrush, nor do they claim to. But use your professional advice to further your own business. Don't see drop-offs and climbs as in these platforms as big advantages, because your impressions in Google Search Console may be flat. And this should tell you how to properly allocate your SEO budget for the search trends that are actually happening. As always, scale your business faster with Vix. I'm Anthony, signing off.